Hello, everyone, and welcome to Afternoon Tea. My name is Brittany, and it is Friday, March 27th. And obviously, there's been so much sort of craziness in the news, which it feels like it's been every week, especially this month. But we do have some additional, I would argue, almost fallout over Meghan Markle's upcoming speaking engagement at this girls' retreat. The founder of it has closed her her talent agency. She owes a bunch of money to the IRS basically of Australia, like so many different things. It just seems to be an absolutely horrible idea that keeps getting more horrible by the day. And it makes Meghan Markle look increasingly bad, especially because she begged to be on that podcast. Like, why? I don't know. I don't understand. Then we also have Harry's court case and sort of the fallout there as the one of the people testifying obviously on behalf of initially the plaintiffs and now almost more of the defendants claims that he was coerced, that other people were coerced to join this case, and it's looking, I think, increasingly badly. And then we also have some new kind of details about Prince William, and apparently he's going to be selling some farmland in the Duchy of Cornwall. And people are, of course, complaining about it. I find it so interesting that people who don't own the land are complaining when somebody sells the land. If you want to own it, buy it. That is, I know not everybody can, but it's kind of this weird thing that I've noticed, especially when it comes to the royals, that people complain that, oh, the royals are doing something, but they don't, like, the people who are complaining never owned it in the first place. You can't really complain if you don't own it. Just saying that right now. And also, yeah, somebody asked here, Sander, will I address Beatrice's marriage? I did somewhat do that on the Crown Report earlier this week, but we can definitely go over Beatrice and her marriage again. But I do have to say, guys, just letting you all know, my allergies have been particularly bad today. I'm in the process of moving. I was moving some books, and dust particles have been acting up in addition to like pollen in the air and stuff like that. So my allergies are particularly bad. So I'm pretty positive, and I woke up this morning with a sore throat. So I am not entirely sure we can get through our usual 2 hours. I do apologize, like ahead of time, just letting you guys know, because my sneezing fits can get quite bad. just kind of giving you guys like a full transparency here. If we start sneezing too much, like I think my nostrils have finally cleared up a bit, but if I start sneezing too much, we will probably have to call it a day, just because it's nobody wants to listen to that. My mother was like, she's like, how do you live like this? And I was like, I don't know, I just get used to it. I've been used to it for so many years now. And guys, last week when I was on vacation, I was in Florida, and I did go to the Disney Springs and to the Coca-Cola thing. And I got this cute little like canister thing with my name on it. And it says Cherry Coke, which is probably my favorite. And it's pink and it's very cute. So anyways, not sharing for any reason in particular, but just because I shall be using this a little bit. And I lost control of my average water bottle. So anyways, I think if you guys go there, these are super fun, and they ship it to you. So I actually got the package today. I was like, what am I expecting? Came in like, I think Wednesday or something. And I opened it up. I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. So just FYI, if you buy something, you want to ship it, that's much better than trying to pack it in your suitcase, because I wouldn't have gotten the stuff I want in my suitcase. So anyways, guys, just to get those kind of housekeeping little tidbits out of the way, because yes, we have paper towels as tissues and everything. So we will attempt to make it through as long as possible. But honestly, not feeling just super well this week. Or today. But we do have John Massoud, who gave a super chat, $20. Thank you so much. Says, Brittany, our dear madam is having a retreat next to a cesspool run by a woman who is bankrupt. What else could go wrong? Love your channel. Why, thank you so much, John. And it is honestly just absolutely insane when you think about it. And this whole thing, and you're 100% right. Like, this has just been a disaster for Meghan, like in every conceivable way, because she just looks bad having agreed to this. Well, not only just agreed, begged to attend. So thank you so much, John. And we will definitely pop into that here real quick. Let me go ahead and pop up the story here because the Sky News, I think Australia here has a little bit more about it because apparently she is deleted. And like, this is just, I would say, guys, this is just all bad. And there's a reason why, especially if you're royalty, you have people screen who you're interacting with and everything because it can look bad. It can look bad. So this is just crazy. So it says Jackie O. Henderson's manager Gemma O'Neill deletes Instagram account as talent agency collapses ahead of Meghan Markle's event. Oh my gosh. This is again, this story just continues to get worse and worse. And if you are somebody, like, think about who you're interacting with, like, when it comes to the people you are speaking about and stuff or speaking to and these sorts of things. Because Megan going to this event sort of looks like she's really promoting it and promoting Gemma and what she does and everything. And Gemma's a hot mess. So this just doesn't make Megan look good at all. So, sorry, this website has been a bit weird here. So it says Jackie O. Henderson's friend and manager Gemma has deleted her personal Instagram account after what has been a headline making month for the 51-year-old. The talent manager has seemingly wiped all traces of her Instagram page, Jemmy Jean, and has gone underground. Daily Mail reported on Friday. However, O'Neill's Her Best Life podcast page is still up and running. And as a reminder, Jackie, who was part of Gemma's whole podcast, my understanding is she's not part of the podcast anymore. So we've jumped from these two women being together on this podcast to Jackie abandoning it. Gemma loses her business, basically, owes $500,000 in taxes, basically, into one other debtor, and has now shut down her Instagram account. Like, it's just like, wow, like this was okay. Okay. And if Meghan was a working royal, she never would have gotten connected with Gemma in the first place because the royal staff who kind of oversee all this, review all this, would have gone, no, there's some problems here. They would have actually done their investigative footwork to make sure that it was okay for Meghan and her to meet, that it would be beneficial for Meghan and her to meet and what have you. And that's just absolutely not the case that we're having here. And it's just, I mean, like, it's just insane. It's just absolutely mind-boggling that nobody did their due diligence here, it seems like. It says the social media cleanse comes after O'Neill announced a major career milestone and had her financial woes exposed all in the space of a month. Oh, and we do also have King Frederick and Queen Mary actually did a really lovely tour of Australia, but this is Gemma right here, who also can lead you through, oh gosh, what is it? I want to say it's a meditation session, but I want to say it's even more inane than that. Manifestation session or something. Anyways, I'm not a fan of those kind of things, as you could obviously tell. But anyways, it says at the beginning of March, O'Neill revealed she would be interviewing Meghan at a $3,000 a ticket women's retreat organized by Besties, an event company she founded with Henderson in 2023. The 44-year-old royal will appear as the guest speaker at the Coogie's Intercontinental Hotel, which will include a gala dinner featuring an in-person conversation with Meghan and an opportunity for powerful conversations, relaxation, laughter, and unforgettable experiences. The luxury retreat will take place from April 17th through 19th and is limited to just 300 people, although it weirdly sounds as well as if, like, because one of the Sussex squad members seemed to kind of indicate that somebody else got a ticket and she got to go with her bestie. So really it's only 150 people who maybe got tickets. It's kind of confusing. I'm very confused. This whole thing is quite weird. So, I hate how you can't scroll. Like if so guys, when I'm on the video, it won't let me scroll, but I have to get over there in the corner just to scroll down the page. That is dumb, by the way. That is definitely not the best way. So It goes on to say, however, just a week after the big announcement, it was revealed that O'Neill's talent company, Gemmy Agency, had collapsed, owing $546,000 after going into voluntary liquidation in November. The bulk of the sum is owed to the Australian tax office, amounting to $543,548. However, another $3,300 fee is owed to a small business firm, Jack Lawrence Accountants and Advisors. Then we keep going. Grant Thornton Australia administrators reportedly filed a statutory creditors report on February 24, stating Gemmy Agency Party Pty Limited's debts were inconsistent with the seven-figure commission paid to the company by an unknown key client between October 2023 and March 2024. News Australia also claimed the report sheds lights on an invoice sent to one high-value client for over $1 million. The sum was reportedly paid in cash installments, with $254,480 paid between February 26th and March 5th. How do I get that job? Payments made against the director's loan accountant totaled $788,125 in late 2023. On February 20th, O'Neill told administrators she was not able to repay the debts as she had no personal savings and limited earnings at her disposal. So, again, that some people apparently don't see that this whole event is a way for this woman to recoup her debts is insane. Like, she's basically just using them. This is so unbelievably sketchy. Like, it's so sketchy. It's so sketch. It's terrible. Oh my gosh. And then it goes on to say, coincidentally, happened the same day O'Neill's client Henderson was left in tears during a broadcast after her co-host Kyle Sandilands accused her of letting her interest in astrology affect her work ethic. That may have been it. It may have been an astrology session. Yeah, that Gemma was going to lead at this retreat. The on-air clash has since resulted in Henderson and Sandilands' $200 million contract termination. So, I mean, I thought of this, guys, and I think this is perfect. It's actually sort of perfect that we do have this opportunity of Gemma and Meghan to meet, because both of these women can commiserate over their horrible business decisions and how to fail, I guess, upwards or downwards, or like minimizer, how to fail and influence people. That could be their tagline for this. Yeah, so it's very Harry and Meghan coded, I feel like, here, and it's just kind of like a little bit crazy. So, all this is just absolutely chaotic and just reminds me why royals, they like are held to higher standards. If Meghan was a know-nothing celebrity, I would not care. And I don't think anybody else would. But Meghan claims royal titles. And we have the situation here already with Prince Andrew, where Andrew was definitely taking money from unscrupulous people and these sorts of things. And Meghan is doing the same thing. She's taking money from and interacting with, I would argue, in my personal opinion, a rather unscrupulous character who probably doesn't deserve this close association, I don't think. And what's even crazier about this, it's like one thing to be invited and then to not realize like how bad things are. It's another thing when Meghan herself begged this woman to do something in Australia with her, like begged multiple times, going, hey, you know what? I'm going to be in Australia. I want to do something with you. Why? Why? That's like, guys, all I want to know is why. Because this is like, I mean, it's just so obviously such a bad idea. And it's like, could you not get anybody better? Like, could you not? So it's just, I think it goes to show too, and it should be worrying to King Charles in so many ways, is that Harry and Meghan are seemingly willing to do anything to make money. And they're willing to go along with anyone who will give them money. So this is just another example of that. I hate to say. Not that I hate to say, but like, let's be real. This is just another example of Harry and Meghan just being, in some ways, losers who are willing to do anything to get a buck. And Meghan shouldn't have to be doing this, but she's doing this, I think, because she's not getting other offers. And so she's having to beg and plead for them. Now, I did just check and Google here to see when the Soho House is opening because I am pretty positive that this Sydney edition will be part of the reason for Harry and Meghan's appearance. I'm pretty sure that it's about the Soho House opening in Sydney. And maybe it's not opening right now, but maybe it's some sort of soft opening or something. It's just so lame because I mean, why else would Marcus Anderson be the one connecting this? I mean, it was so dumb too of Gemma to go on social media to explain how she got this. I mean, she sounds flighty to me. It's just also so incredibly bad. And so it just again is a reminder of why it is good for Harry and Meghan's titles to be stripped and everything to be taken from them. Because if they were just doing this under Harry and Meghan Sussex, they weren't ever using their royal titles. They weren't ever even trying and attempting to position themselves as royalty and suing everybody up the wazoo and these sorts of things. You know, if you want to be idiots, waste your money, that's fine. But I think with the royal titles, I think that does put things on a different level and positioning themselves as royals or attempting to. Obviously, not everybody takes that seriously, but some people do. And so doing all this, I just think puts a really bad taste in people's mouths and something that Charles should take like so much more seriously than he does. Oh, than he does. But he's just not. And it's very sad. It's very sad. Yeah, Siba says, Foursquare is given free travel and admission to the Australian thing. Yeah, I mean, there's so much misinformation that I'm kind of somewhat skeptical on some of that, but Meghan definitely loves her fans because they're the only ones who love her. And she has such a small amount of them. But let's go ahead and we'll move on to our next topic, but we do have a couple of bits here with the super chat. Carol said gifted one Royalties Network membership. Thank you so much, Carol. And we do have a super chat from Dizfan asking for $5. Brittany, what are your thoughts on King Charles III coming to the States, still giving the ongoing war? He's yet back in, he's in a back corner due to Starmer. So that is a very interesting question. One we should have included here. There's a lot of topics, but honestly, guys, my brain hasn't been fully engaged today. I was like scrolling through Twitter going, has anything happened today? I don't even know. So it's been one of those days. But when it comes to this question, so I understand where Starmer is putting Charles in a difficult spot here. And I do recognize that Starmer is putting the burden of the bad relationship with Trump on Charles, so he doesn't have to deal with it and he can make Charles basically do his dirty work. I totally get that. But at the same time, I do think royals are not and should not be seen as political figures. He is serving a role as head of state. He's recognizing America's 250th anniversary. And we do also have this situation here of King Charles kind of looking at all this and just basically playing his role. And yes, I realize and understand that the war part of this is complicated. It's not super clear or easy here. And I know that some people would just prefer him to never do anything connected with Donald Trump again. But the reality remains that the UK, whether or not it likes the war, has to have a relationship with the United States. It is the most powerful country on earth and one of Britain's greatest allies, even if it doesn't totally agree with the war efforts. And I don't particularly see an issue with Charles still attending. I think obviously anything related to politics should be put by the wayside. And if Charles doesn't want to attend, I understand, but obviously he's going to, and he's going to hold his head up high and not really make any, let's say, like rude and or unnecessary comments or something like that. But it's one of those things where like Charles is darned if he does, darned if he doesn't. And I don't see a particular issue with him going. I think it's good for him to go. I don't mind. Obviously, some people have asked, will I be there? I actually won't be there. It's happening at the very end of April. I was hoping it would happen more mid-April, and I would have gone. William Alexander and Queen Maxima are also coming to the States in mid-April. But I kind of debated following them around, but it would have been kind of challenging. Lots of stuff, family wise and stuff going on. So it's like probably not for the best for me to do that right now. But I will be in April. I will be in Sweden for King Carl Gustaf's 80th birthday. So I will be covering that instead because it just happened to fall under the same dates, basically. Like I'll be in Sweden when Charles is here, unfortunately. But I think it's okay for him to go. Obviously, he could maybe say something about the war, but he really shouldn't. He should just stay away from the war topic, discuss United States and Great Britain's fantastic relationship, keep it as politically neutral as humanly possible, and just enjoy his time. That's what Charles should be doing here. And hopefully he'll get to do that. All right. So we do have Carol as well here saying, and thank you so much for the super chat saying this is why royals excel at royal tours. Their due diligence is superior. Yeah, Harry and Meghan are an SHIT show. Very, very true. And it's one of those things where this would have been all found in due diligence and it would have been told no. And not that the royals are perfect. In his book, Russell Myers does kind of discuss the situation where Catherine and William, there was sort of an issue with one of the places they were going to give visit in Belize. They really weren't able to do everything correctly to kind of mitigate that and stuff. So it's not like the royals are flawless and everything is perfect all the time. No, no, no. But generally speaking, the royals very much and their staff very much go through every event, check it numerous times to make sure they are meeting with the right people, good people who are unconnected to controversy as much as possible, unless if that's part of that person's brand type of thing. And then they do like a side check. I'm sure before, I'm positive, before royal tours, I've never actually seen this in action, but I would 100% guess this would happen. Like staff members from William and Catherine's team, Charles and Camilla's team, will go through and do a run through of the tour and meet with everybody the royals are going to meet with. That way they can also double check and do their due diligence. Who are you meeting with? What does this person do? Do they have a criminal record? These sorts of things. And not that Gemma has a criminal record, she doesn't, but like she just comes across as rather sketchy. And this whole event now seems even sketchier. Like if the business was in good standing, if they had done a bunch of these events, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But like this is, I think, only their second event. And Gemma just lost her business, owes a massive amount basically to the tax department, couldn't pay her taxes, has no savings, has no money. Like the business is gone. Like, and her co-host left. It's like, what? Why are you going to this thing? It's just bad all around. We do have Liza here as well, says how to fail and still keep grifting weekend retreat. I think that's an accurate way to put it. We do have Teresa Holtum get to One Royal News Network membership. Thank you so much, Teresa. And you also gave your super chat saying, hello, all hope you're okay in this crazy world. I hope you all are okay as well. So let's go ahead and move on to another topic here. And I haven't, again, probably looked at this quite as closely as I should, but this is, again, really kind of disturbing. And again, goes to Harry as well and kind of goes along with the same theme of Harry and Meghan here. Meghan and her kind of creepy, weird girls retreat. And then we have Harry here as well in this court case that he probably really shouldn't be part of. And it's looking increasingly sketch. So it says Prince Harry's lawyers used Doreen Lawrence as trophy claimant to boost case. And so High Court hears Labour peer had been persuaded to turn against the publisher, this is Daily Mail, which led to a long campaign for justice for her murdered son. And so this case is just getting increasingly like dicey, and I think it's looking pretty bad for Harry. And I kind of hope it is. I think the guy deserves to lose a time or two here in his court cases. Like, I don't think he's ever won all that much from the court cases, but yeah. Let's see here. Let's see if I can make this. I can make it bigger here. Baroness Lawrence was dragged into Prince Harry's privacy case as trophy claimant, using evidence that had no basis, the High Court has heard. The Labor peer, mother of murdered teenager Stephen Lawrence, was persuaded to join legal action against the Associated Newspaper, publisher of the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday, based on supposed confessions made by private investigator Gavin Burrows, who has since been branded a liar. In closing admissions, Anthony White KC for the publisher said there was not a single document to suggest that Mr. Burrows ever worked for the newspaper group, and that the most serious allegations made by 7 celebrity claimants, including the Duke of Sussex and Sir Elton John, had effectively fallen away. As 3-month trial drew to a close, he told Justice Nicklin, the particular tragedy of the case is that the evidence of Mr. Burrows, which was used to persuade Baroness Lawrence, the trophy claimant so prized by the claimant's lawyers and research team, was ultimately relied on by the claimants. Mr. White said Baroness Lawrence had been persuaded to turn against the publisher, which led on a long campaign of justice for her son and to sue on the basis of evidence that had no substance. So this is Gavin Burrows. So the entire claim had been cooked up by hacked off Hugh Grant's lobby group for press reform as part of a political campaign. Its aim was to prove the Associated had led the Leveson inquiry and then used it for leverage to pressure the government to implement Part 2 of the inquiry. Dr. Evan Harris, a former Lib Dem PM and director of Hacked Off, who now works as a member of the claimant's legal research team, told the court last month that the aim was to use national treasures who would garner public sympathy. So we won't totally keep reading, but this is definitely a case here of Harry seemingly through this court case utilizing a more sympathetic turn here to gain credibility for himself and the rest of the trial, because one of the whole kind of allegations with this whole trial and case is that Harry was basically pulled into it under false pretenses by his lawyers, basically. And so it just feels like this gives more credibility to those allegations. And it just seems like a case that's fairly weak. And so we will see where everything ends up. Again, I sort of hope Harry somewhat loses this case. And obviously I'm not a legal lawyer and these sorts of things, but I think some of the aspects of this case were so unbelievably old. And he just can't deal with the reality that sometimes people blabbed to the press and were incentivized to blab, or maybe just the reporters made a logical deduction and figured something out. I mean, I'm surprised how many people I think in some aspects of the royal space just make a logical deduction and then put it out as like a fact and exclusive. And it works because usually they've used a logical deduction to figure out a future thing, and it all kind of works together for them. And so I feel like so much of royal reporting is that. And even back in those days, like there were ways the press could figure things out. And what motivates, I think, is Harry so much in this particular case is that he's unbelievably angry at the world. And he blames the world for his own failures. And so if he can get and prove that the press, that was not his friends, it was not his action, it was not anything else, but was this nefarious outside source that has caused so much of his strife, I think intellectually he thinks that that will change things for him. That'll make things better for him. And that's just really not going to be the case here. That's just really not going to be the case. I think he will, find out like there'll be a lot of failure here, more failure to come, these sorts of things. And I am like, I think he should lose here. I think he should lose. I think the humility of that, having to pay, may kind of smack some sense into him. But you never know. Like, obviously things could change. We don't know quite how everything will turn out. But I really think Harry needs to stop blaming the press for the messes of his life and recognize that he is the one who has caused the most difficulty in his life and his wife. It's not the press. It's not his family. It's not his friends. It's not us, on the internet. No. It's Harry. Harry is the reason his life sucks. It's Harry. But the dude can't accept that. He can't accept that. he can't accept the responsibility, like the self-responsibility. And that is making things challenging because, Stacey said he's still pining for Chelsea. Like in some ways he is, in some ways he isn't. But she's gone on perfectly well with her life and she seems perfectly happy. And yes, she had press intrusion into her life a lot. She would get scared and these sorts of things. And she's sort of kind of just fine, it seems like. It's Harry who's messed up. It's Harry who is angry in so many things. And it's just sort of it's just the whole thing is just kind of funny and it's really sad. So that's what we have here for Harry's little latest courtroom battle royale. It probably, again, will not go well for him in the long run. But let's move on to a different topic. And this is one where, again, guys, I just come under the idea here. Prince William urged not to put profits over people and duchy land sale. Now, I will say, just as a caveat, like I would hope that William would make sure whoever he sells the land to are still going to farm it and not sell it to, like, I hate to say it, but Chinese companies or Middle Eastern companies that are just going to land develop or something like that. I think keeping it as farmland would be good. But this whole whining, sorry, I hate to call it whining, but it is. So William urged not to put profits over people and duchy land sale. Farmers expressed concern over Prince of Wales' plans to sell 10 farms on a Devon estate. So number one, it's not their land, it's his land. He is allowed to do with it what he wills. And he can sell it, he can keep it. Totally up to him. And if you don't want it to be sold, then you buy the land. Buy the land. And if you can't afford to buy the land, that's just the case. And why should, in my opinion, why should William be forced to prioritize people over profits when other businesses could sell and they don't really have to think about that in the same way? It's like, why? Because he's royal, he's forced to, let's say, take a hit on his business to placate these people who have tended the land. And again, I get it. They have worked really hard for this. They've been generational farmers and these sorts of things. But why couldn't you buy the land in the first place? You should be able to buy the land, and maybe somebody else will buy it and let you tend it. But unfortunately, this is sort of the march of progress. In some ways, is that sometimes people decide to sell things, and the thing is, if you don't own it, he has the right to sell it. That's just my personal thought here. So he's been urged to not put profits over people when he sells land on a historic country estate as part of a shakeup of his private property portfolio. The Duchy of Cornwall, which belongs to Prince William, insists that the sale of the 10 farms on the land it owns in Devon is more focused on other areas where there is greater social and environmental needs. However, the surprise announcement has left farmers and communities with connection to the Brandnich estate, which has been part of the heir's private land estate since its formation in 1337, fearing for their future. One tenant farmer says he would not be able to buy the farm without saddling his family with generations of debt. Having a landlord in Prince William who's supposedly that focused on mental health, the amount of stress and anxiety among the farmers and tenants is through the roof, he said. The town council is said to be worrying time for many and left residents questioning the future of the duchy-owned community assets, such as wetland allotments and football fields. So again, this is just, I feel for the farmers, I 100% do. But there's a part of me that also is like, he owns the land. He's allowed to do with it what he pleases. That's not perfect. But that's sort of the reality here. And he can't just handhold you the entire time, especially if, let's say, the farm isn't generating strong profits or something like that. Like, again, I am against, let's say, giving it to or selling it to like a foreign government or something like that. I'm sort of against that aspect of it. But if William is just like, hey, there's somebody over here who can tend the farm, who can pay me for this land, and this land is not helping me, that's his right to do. Because at the end of the day, you do have to think of profits. Not everything can be a nonprofit enterprise. The reality is money is what like makes this world function. People have to be able to make money. You just can't endlessly hand out money. Like as long as they give them a decent time to figure out, hey, can we buy this land? Can we move? How can we best facilitate your transition? I mean that's the best he can do. And if he does that, then I think he's doing his due diligence. And so yeah, that's my thought there. Maybe I'm a little sharp, but I just like to me, it's like, yes, it's a huge estate worth so much money. But do they give Hugh Grosvenor like a lot of flack for, selling anything related to what he has in Belgravia connected to, the duchy that has been in his family for a couple generations, the Duchy of Westminster? No. So it's just a little silly. It says the Duchy said the sale was part of a plan to be more active in shaping the portfolio towards areas where we see the most significant social and environmental need and therefore opportunity for impact rather than just land ownership. It said tenant farmers will be given first refusal to buy their farms at a healthy discount to market rates. I mean, that's the best he can do. That's the best he can do. I'm sorry, like, and maybe I don't agree with, let's say, all the reasoning here, but if that's what William wants to do, it's his land. He can do what he wants. That's just it. That's just it at the end of the day. It was kind of like when people were complaining on the Crown Estate that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to like drive a mile out of my way to go to a dog park or something. Oh my gosh, I can't walk this trail anymore. Sorry, I'm kind of being dramatic. Maybe the little bit of the cold and allergy symptoms are getting to me. But I find this stuff to be so whiny. It's like, it's not your land in the first place. You don't have ownership of it. If you want to buy the land, buy the land, but you don't own it. And the actual owners can do whatever the heck they want with it, and they don't have to consider your feelings. They are doing what is best for their property and their businesses and these sorts of things. And to me, that's just totally fair. It's totally fair. He cannot, handhold everyone. And if he decides, hey, especially if considering, again, let's say that those tracts of land aren't really any benefit to the duchy. And he's like, I'm not really making any money here. Like, maybe somebody else can do better. Hey, more power to him. But I feel like I like how Kay Bumpus said, and they say royals are entitled. There's just, yeah, there feels like there's a lot of entitlement in some of these areas, and that William, doesn't have to think about profits because he's a royal. It's like, no, like as if the duchy keeps making him money, it means he has to rely less on the taxpayers. This is not that hard. But oh goodness, a lot of people, they just don't get that. They just don't get that. So it's just one of those things where I find it to be very obnoxious, a little whiny. I understand the frustration. There was actually kind of interesting similarity here that there was a article in my local area where a developer had purchased a plot of land that was technically originally a mobile home park. And some people there were paying like $400 a month in rent or something crazy like that. In this day and age, that's like crazy low. And somebody like the people who own the land decide to sell. The people who had mobile homes are going to be forced to move. And I think that's so sad that they are going to have to spend a lot more of their money and stuff on rent in another area in a different apartment, these sorts of things. They're not going to get the benefit that they used to, but some people have been there since like 1988. You just can't expect, if you don't own the land, if you don't own the house, you can't expect at some point somebody won't go, yep, you're out. And so that is why, obviously as many barriers that can be opened for people owning property is fantastic. But sometimes people who own the land can do what they want, and they don't always have to consider you and your feelings and your wants and desires and these sorts of things. And it's unfortunate, but that's life. That is life. Life is the reality of it is unfair. Some people get more than they deserve. Some people get less than they deserve. Some people start off with, let's say a 10 out of 10, and some people start with a 0 out of 10. It's just not a perfect world. And as much as we can, and these people in my local area had 6 months to find alternative arrangements, so they had plenty of time to do so. And obviously, it's going to suck. It's going to suck. It's not easy, but they didn't have a right to it in the first place, and that's just what happens in life. So Lee said here, Lady C recently made the point that private wealth distributes and thereby dissipates power, preventing the potential atrocity of power from being centralized in the hands of an oppressive government. I mean, yeah, you could see that as the case, although I don't see that as much here. But it's very true. So I did have a question earlier, guys, just running to the next thing, because I saw a question earlier going, hey, have you purchased Tom Bauer's book, Betrayal? So, guys, I did not purchase it. Ugh. Sorry for the sneeze. Oh, goodness. Okay. But I did get a review copy here. So I do have it. I got this Wednesday, I think. Or maybe I got it yesterday. Either way, guys, like I said, allergies today have been especially bad. Again, we probably won't go the whole time just because I can feel myself a little bit like I'm keeping it up fairly well, but I can kind of feel myself starting to fade and slow down a bit. So, anyways, sorry, that's neither here nor there, but I will be looking forward to reading as much as I can of this weekend. I do have a request in to interview him, but I don't know if it's because he's either busy or taking a little bit time off or something right as the book comes out. It might not be right away, like in the next week. Might be a little later, but I feel like that's okay. I think I didn't interview Andrew Lowney until maybe a couple weeks after his book came out. And so I just want to ask, interesting questions. I always definitely want to make sure I read before. Oh, and Sir Squirrel says, woman, you need meds. I actually took stuff up the nostrils, and I also took Claritin today. So but once I get triggered, it's just impossible to turn off the sneezing. It's just impossible. Like it's not until the next day I take, and the thing that works best for me is Benadryl, and Benadryl makes me extremely sleepy. So I can't take it until the nighttime when I'm about to go to bed. And so this is what we're stuck with. So I'm just trying to make it through. So, we do have an interesting comment here. Thomas says, I'm going to interject here. Well, I agree with you. This might not be the time to appear indifferent to citizens who have been caring for land. It just makes you look crude at this time. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely 100% understand that. The timing might not be great, but I think some of this started before everything with Andrew broke. But yeah, the timing is not great. I will 100% agree there. Maybe this isn't exactly the right time to do that, but yeah, I agree. Timing could be better because sometimes, guys, things just come down to timing. When things occur, it like really can shift the narrative. Any other time, let's say 5 years from now, that might have been totally fine. But right now, not such a great time. So that's something to consider. Stacy says, it must be miserable. I never bothered with allergies. I was never bothered with allergies. I feel for you, Brittany. Yeah, my mom was here helping me a bit this morning. She's like, how do you live like this? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just used to it now. And usually I don't have this. It doesn't happen every day, but just every once in a while, it like something really stirs up. I think it was moving books off the bookcase. Bookcase was dusty. We have a lot of pollen in the air where I am. Like it literally covers the cars. Like you'll drive around and there's just a bunch of green cars. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So well-known thing to happen in my area, but things like and maybe a little bit of a cold settling in, not entirely sure. So it hasn't been Brittany's greatest day. So guys, oh goodness. So yeah, that is what we have. Pretty much, that's kind of pretty much what I had. So if you guys have other questions, we can do that. And if we want to do a official tracker, let's say a bit on the As Ever Instagram, we've lost 100 people since yesterday. because if you guys noticed, I did a quick little video. If you guys like those little videos better, let me know. And I might kind of end up doing a bit more of videos that are like 20 minutes or less. And um, kind of saving more longer form things for this particular events. So anyways, so that is what we have here. But yeah, she's lost 100 since yesterday. She can't move her products. It's so bad. I would kill right now, guys, to know what the product situation is. I would just love to know. Let's see if like she switched. I'm sure she has, but it would just be funny to know. Limit 6 per order. Let's put 100,000 and see what it does. Oh, cart error. 6 items per order. Darn. I was really hoping it would give us a good limit. But yeah, I just don't think any of this is going particularly well at all. So kind of sad and pathetic in so many ways. Like she could have been so successful. And yet we have this. We have this. And it just looks increasingly like she's desperate to sell and things aren't selling. So that's what we have. Oh, and somebody mentioned Beatrice and her husband and their marriage and relationship. And so I did see a new article on the Daily Mail, so we can check that out here real quick. And just to be clear, at least. Oh, wow. Tiger Woods was in a crash, another car crash, another rollover car crash. Remember, guys, when he had that big rollover car crash back in 2021? Apparently, he's had another one, a rollover crash here. So, oh, Beatrice. So, I think I don't see her there. But let's move her here. So hopefully he's all right. Hoping he's all right. So it says truth about Princess Beatrice's husband Edo, money as we reveal marriage trouble. So this is a follow-up to one that they did over the weekend. So I guess he's meticulous. Yet when he appeared at Beatrice's side, some who follow the royals couldn't help but feeling a sneaky suspicion. Was this a debonair Latin charmer? He is the scion of an aristocratic Italian family, too good to be true. Some found it strange that he left his glamorous architect fiance. Are you saying Beatrice isn't glamorous? I think Beatrice is lovely. With whom he has a son, then aged 2. For Beatrice, Miss Huang's mother, Lily, certainly thought so. She said she was shocked and believed it stunned her daughter as well, so sudden was the split. Then there is Edo's extravagantly overblown engagement day declaration on Instagram. You'll never be alone, my love. My heart is your home. He gushed to Beatrice along with the wider world, hand in hand, today, tomorrow, and forever. More than 6 years on, it feels like there are fierce couple who, to be fair, have always seemed to be happy despite the naysayers, have hit a rocky patch. And again, I said this on the Crown Report earlier this week because I did cover this news. Who's surprised? Your father being arrested, being stripped of all his royal titles, being forced to move, and all these things. Yeah, that's going to be stressful. That's going to be stressful. I'm not blaming Beatrice at all for being stressed. So shadowed by the Epstein scandal. And then against the background, Edo came under fire for gallivanting around Florida. He looked like he was miles from home and looking to the world like Miami Vice extra in his pastel pink suit and light blue shirt. With loafers, he promoted his design company, Banda, spoke at a conference, and judging by the copious snaps he posted on social media, had a jolly time in the sunshine. Well, you can have a jolly good time in the sunshine. I was just in the sunshine earlier this week, and it was lovely. Sources close to the couple have since reported that there has been a notable distance between them. When they first got together, Edo wasn't nearly so successful. Being adjacent to royalty was transformative. So he has 2 businesses, Banda Design and Banda Property. So he started the business at 23. Good for him. It was a moderate success, but it's grown. But that happens with businesses sometimes. So as complains here that he grew to 2.2 million in 2024, retained profits of 774,000. Yet a year before Beatrice and Edo wed, it was 244,000 in the red. That does happen with businesses, especially home businesses. I think people underestimate how much money, time, and effort it says or it has to how much, like, this costs a heck of a lot of money. So yeah, you might be in the red. Like home renovations and home design and stuff and those sorts of things could be really risky. So I don't feel like we're getting anything like more than what I've seen before. But when it comes to Beatrice and Edo, here's my general thought. So we're just moving up here to the 2 of them. Number 1, I do hope they're okay. They have obviously the stepson, Wolfie, between them, in addition to 2 daughters. And, the guy is running a business. He can't be there the entire time thinking, oh, what about poor Andrew? I got to think about Andrew before I post on Instagram. That's just dumb. That's just dumb. He's running a business. A part of running a business, especially a design business, is being on Instagram. That's 100% part of running his business, is being on Instagram, showing his design aesthetic and these sorts of things. It's a huge part of it. And so I don't blame him for that. I think it's ridiculous to kind of blame him. Oh, he's leaving Beatrice all alone. He's traveling, to Miami. Well, maybe he's trying to find them a home there and they can kind of escape this whole terrible royal bubble and live in Miami for a while. That's what Princess Madeline did. So, of Sweden. So like maybe, yeah, do that. And it's like, why is he supposed to be there just like coddling her the entire time? Like, I understand he needs to be there as a husband. Like, I'm not saying that, but he needs to work. And the best way to keep them from falling into the Andrew trap is for him to work and be successful. And yes, of course, his connection to royalty will help his business. And if he married her for that benefit, then, poo-poo on him. That's bad on him. But, that was his choice. Obviously, Beatrice kind of famously, she dated a guy for about 10 years named Dave Clark, who, when he dumped her, immediately married another woman within 6 months. And William did not like Dave Clark at all. And the rumor I heard was that William was very in on the idea, or kind of saw Dave as cashing in on his connection to Beatrice and the wider royal family. So William was never a fan of Dave. And so that Dave dumped her and immediately jumped with another woman was just, I'm sure that deeply hurt her in a lot of ways, because I'm sure she was probably just waiting and thinking that ring was on the way. And then he dumps her. And that ring she wanted for so long was immediately on the hand of another woman. You just can't help but feel used. So I think it's quite sad. I hope they're able to get through this just fine. Because of their 3 children, I mean, technically he has, she has, you could call him an extra one or an extra blessing with Wolfie, who's not her biological child, but she does raise him together with Edo, in addition to obviously his mom as well. Just for family reasons, I hope that everybody is able to navigate this. That was one of my key concerns when this whole Andrew thing came out, is that I just kept thinking, oh, I hope the girls in their marriages survive this, because that is going to put a strain on your relationship. That will put a strain, and it's an unfortunate strain. And it's one that could have been avoided, but how much did Edo know about the family dynamics? I don't know. But I think he is doing what he should be doing, which is working, bringing home the bacon. That is his job. Beatrice works too, but that is his job. And I think especially right now, given all the questions over how Beatrice and Eugenie have made their money and these sorts of things, the connection to Andrew, I think it's best if Edo just keeps working. Just keep working. Don't look at what the naysayers are saying. Just bring in the bacon. Just go out there and make the money. That is what he should be doing. That is his job, and he just needs to go about it and not think about the whiners on social media. I hate to say it that way, but it's true. People on social media, they whine. And if there are troubles in their relationship, I hope they're able to navigate them well. I don't, again, envy anyone who is going through something like this, and the strains and stresses and the publicness and everything. I do genuinely feel bad for them. And I hope they're able to navigate this really well. I hope they're able to come out of this strong. And yeah, Liz said here, this is another great thing. Liz said, I'm hoping Edo is trying to take the tension off of Beatrice. I think he is a bit. That's a good thing to do. So I hope they'll make it. Like, he kind of, like, my thought on him sometimes is like, I just don't know how engaged Edo is with Beatrice in some ways. Because he just kind of, you can see that in that picture there. He kind of seems a bit kind of the whole situation, but that could just be his resting face, and he's just not a fan of the press. But there was a cute little picture of him like tickling one of the Tyndall girls, and so I thought that was really cute. And so it seems like he is integrated into the family. I hope that is the case. I hope they navigate this well, and I hope they're able to come out of this, if not stronger, then at least they're able to come out of this with their marriage intact, because that's not going to be an easy thing. So that is what we got there for Beatrice. And obviously we haven't heard much from Eugenie, except for the fact that she's not letting Fergie stay with her and her husband. And good for her. Fergie's an adult woman who should have millions upon millions of dollars in the bank at this point, and somehow does not. I'm like, how? I just don't understand. But guys, that is, I think, all I have here for the live stream. So we'll do a couple questions, and again, we'll end it a little bit earlier, just because obviously, if you can't totally tell, like, the mind is willing, but the body today is weak. Oh man. Oh yeah. And Lynn says, the city of York just took back one of Fergie's honors. They did. So they keep stripping things of them. I mean, we do have a couple other things in royal land. So what is it? The Danes have released their annual report for the royal household, and Princess Astrid of Norway is in the hospital. So hopefully she is able to recover here pretty soon. Chrisman said Harry's hair is coming out in clumps now. I'm sure it is. I'm sure he's might be even pulling it out, or the stress is just like the rest of the little tendrils are just falling out in the shower every day. And I don't have a ton of sympathy. Because again, Harry did this all to himself. Everybody in his life tried to say and warn him, hey, she's bad news, and he wouldn't listen to them. Jutic says, do you think William and Catherine or their team watch your videos? They should. You give great advice. Why, thank you. It's hard to say, but I would imagine yes. Like, if you are a smart PR person, you are aware of my channel. And if you're working for Catherine William, you are aware of my channel. And that is how you work when you're in PR. You kind of think about those things. So they should. And I will say, when I walked into the Danish royal household for the first time, and it was in December 2024, and I introduced myself to one of the palace guys. His name is Oliver, and lovely guy. And he's like, oh, Brittany. Yes, I know who you are. I'm like, okay. So very, very kind guy, by the way. I always have a great time when I'm in Denmark, because they're so welcoming. But it was just kind of funny. He's like, oh, I know who you are. And then when I was in actually the foreign press office in Denmark, and so it was in Copenhagen, and I was picking up my press passes. I was unfortunately really late that day. I had shut off my alarm. I didn't leave early enough. So this was the last minute part of the trip. So many things. Anyways, so I was in the office and the guy who's kind of the head of the office, it was like, 7 or 8 in the morning. He's like, "Oh, let's come in and talk." And I was like, "Okay." Even though I'm like, I really got to get to this event. Otherwise I'm not going to make it. And of course I didn't make it. I was like 45 minutes late. Anyways, I still gave it the old college try. I still walked like 2 miles down there with my heavy backpack that probably weighed 30 pounds. Anyways, so I I was just talking in the office and the one of the ladies in the office, well, actually, I think there was only one other lady there. She's like, "Oh, I watch your channel." I was like, "Oh my gosh, really?" She's like, "I recognize your voice." So that was funny. Mystica Rose says, "Don't you wish you could do a sinus transplant?" Oh, yes, 100%. Tanya said, "Back to gulping on your shows." Well, unfortunately, we are a bit sickly today. So I'm doing the best I can here. So that's what we got. Carol said Belgium just completed a state visit to Norway. Yes, they did. Liz says feel better and think about getting a high-end air purifier from one allergy sufferer to another. It really does help. It really does. I really do want to try it at some point. Maybe get something fancy in a house at some point to hopefully purify the air. But it's just funny because I can be totally fine and then all of a sudden, boom, like it'll hit me one day out of the blue. It's kind of crazy. Roses and Fairies says, I'm sure their team does. Yes. Michael K says Harry needs a can of Ronco GL9 spray to camouflage the expanding bald spot. The expanding bald spot is bad. And it's like, if you're getting bald, go and get a hair transplant. Nobody cares. I don't care. I don't care. If you want to, if that makes you feel better as a man, more power to you. Whatever. But Harry going, well, I don't want people to see my bald spot. Well, you got a bald spot. Like either shave your head and be a big boy or whatever. I don't know. It's just, yeah. So Marjorie says, I'm sure their team watches your videos. I mean, I'm sure they're aware of the channel and maybe watch from time to time. And again, that would just be smart from a PR perspective to know who the major players are. Tam says only Beatrice and her husband know each and every one of their financial conversations. Hopefully she is honest with him and he is not keeping his distance for any negative reasons. I don't really think he is. Again, I just think he's working. And that's totally fine. Sir Squirrelaw says, hi, Brittany. If you have credentials for Sweden, would it help for the British royal visit? No, that's not how it works. It's each individual house has their own credentialing process. So I will keep an eye, which I start need to doing even more now since it's a month away. You just keep an eye on the royal website. They'll let you know when you can apply for credentials. I actually have somebody's email address, so I'll probably email them here next week and just go, hey, I'm coming for the birthday. I was there for the Jubilee. It does help for me, I think, in other royal families to say, hey, I've been credentialed for all these other events and all these other royal households. I've been credentialed in Sweden as well, and I actually met this person. So that's fine. But obviously my channel was a little bit smaller back then. Oh my gosh, guys. So funny story. So I went back through and I looked for my email to Tom Bauer's publisher back in 2022. And I just wanted to see what I put as my counts or whatever in terms of followers on the channel. And I didn't include followers probably because it was too small. But guys, I did go, I have closing in on 1 million overall views. So 1 million overall views for the entire channel at that point back in, I want to say it was June, July of August of 2022 or whatever. And I looked right now in the lifetime of Royal News Network, I have almost 100 million overall views now, which is insane. It's insane. So anyways, that's just funny. Okay, hold on. So sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but again, mind is willing, but the sinuses are weak. But yeah, so the credentialing process is usually fairly easy. They just want to know your outlet, a couple other things. Sometimes they want your passport information, these sorts of things. And so then they verify your identity. They search your bags when you're there and stuff, and they let you know what position. Usually, most of the time, they favor locals over, or at least in Sweden, they focus on the local press over the non-local press. So like they would do Swedish press first, then probably Scandinavian press and then kind of other outlets. So that's just something as well. So I'm very excited though. I'm excited though. Hopefully I get the tiara event this time. Last time I did not get the tiara event and I was a little bummed. But if at least the yachts are there, so the royal yachts, or I will just figure out somewhere to stand and hopefully get pictures of people coming in. So if the yachts are there, usually they are. So this would be the Danish and the Norwegian yacht. I could see people coming off the yacht. So I would station myself to get Queen Mary now coming off the yacht if I can't get inside to get the tiara pictures. So anyways, Montana May says, I think Harry is not a nice fellow. I don't think he is anymore. I think he was probably better before. He's not nice now. Liz Rawls says, women, you don't make sense. I don't know. Roses and fairies. We need to stop dusting. Or maybe I should dust more. Then I won't have as much dust. I don't know. Tick says, if Harry and Meghan hired you for 7 figures, would you take the job? Probably not. Unless I have like an easy out or something, probably not. Like, I don't do well either with people like Meghan who don't say what they mean and get mad at you when you either told them what to do and they disregarded it, or you tried to help navigate situation and they like ignored it or did what you didn't want them to do, and these sorts of things. And they give you flack for it. Like, that would just be awful. So Stephen Magnus, thank you so much for the super chat. Asks, are you going to Australia for Harry and Meghan's trip? No, absolutely not. No. So Stephen, I would definitely go if Catherine and William and the kids were going. I would definitely go to Australia. I have a personal goal of going to all 7 continents. I've been to 5. So Australia and Antarctica are the 2 I have not been to yet. So I do want to do an Antarctica tour. And I also want to go to Australia. I'm hoping for Catherine and William will be next year. But I will also say, especially as last minute as this trip is, plane tickets to Australia are astronomically high. They're insanely high. I mean, you can get cheap seats if you're going to sit in economy, but I at least want economy plus, maybe business or something. Like, I can't do long haul like that. It's just 1 seat. Like, I can't do it. I should be able to do it. I kind of sort of refuse to do it, to be quite honest. I think it was Delta first was at least like, I want to say 5 figures. Like, I want to say it's like $10,000 to $15,000 for a ticket. Like, I've looked at other flights. I think if you go with Qantas, I think it may be a little cheaper, but I'd have to leave directly from Los Angeles and I don't live there. So I'd have to take a flight to Los Angeles, get my bag, either recheck it or stay overnight and then catch the Australian flight, which might not be bad. I have points that I can use and stuff, so maybe I can get those flights for free. But it's expensive. I can't imagine. Let's look at Qantas flights right now. We can look at Qantas. Just to give you an idea of that Zandy person who is a Meghan super fan, and she's going, I can't remember. I'm going to do kind of random dates. I can't remember exactly when the flight is, which is insane because, again, Australia is so far away. It's just insane. So you know what? Honestly, that is not as bad as I thought it was, to be quite honest. I was expecting much worse for Qantas, especially like next month. Wow. If you leave on the 14th of April, it only costs like $600. Really? I wouldn't have thought it would be that cheap. Oh, there's the $600. So this is sale. What does this mean? What does this mean? So you get cancellation not included. You don't get standard seats. So you may be in a middle seat. Maybe. Oh, okay. Now I'm curious, guys. Add to trip. We'll just see, guys, how this goes. Sorry, I'm not showing you too. I'm sorry. But yeah. So it was And the next flight, not quite as cheap, but we'll get the sale for, let's see, 1523 here. So $2,162. I mean, for a last minute flight to Australia, that's not bad. But that's direct from LA. So that was better than I thought it was, to be honest. But also, I'd be like, okay, that's probably the nosebleed seats. I'm like, what is first in that time period? Just as an aside. First is, oh, there's no flights available. Probably because they're all taken. Anyways, yeah, so I won't be going. Maybe for Catherine Williams. Alethea McFarlane asks and sends a super chat. Thank you so much, saying, my favorite thing you do is when you watch a feed and do live commentary. The expressions just crack me up so much. You are so good at this. Why, thank you. I don't even think about my expressions too much, to be honest. I just don't. I'm like, oh, okay, reacting. I guess I'm overly reactive. That's probably 100% true. And that does help because it's kind of interesting because I was hearing some people talk about, how do you do this? Or, asking some other people who run social media channels, like, how do you do this and these sorts of things? And they were giving some advice, which was good. But some of it is just you either have it or you don't. You either pop off on screen and people engage with that or you don't. There's a certain bit of like, I'm more exaggerated on here because you're seeing me in 2 dimensions, not 3. And so I almost have to overly exaggerate just to kind of engage better across the screen. But like in person, I wouldn't do that quite as much. But I'm pretty much the same either way. But there is such a thing as being basically like you either have kind of the X factor, like for lack of a better term, the X factor, or you don't. And some people have that in spades and other people don't. So it's just kind of interesting. Lizzie B gifted 1 Royal News Network membership. Why, thank you so much, Lizzie. And we also have Christina who gifted 1 Royal News Network membership as well. So thank you so much, you guys. Sir Squirrel says, I'd want you on the press line. You're fair. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. I enjoy being on the press line. And then you don't always ask questions just because you can't always, but yeah, it is fun though. I really like being able to cover things in person because it gives me a better perspective. And yeah. Alice says, you can order the garden tea bloom box directly from High Camp Supplies. Same price, no tea or honey. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. And that's not moving. That's still for sale. Let's make sure here. And I did that short little video on Meghan Singh. The thing is, she hasn't shown you how to use any of the stuff she's selling. She hasn't told you how to use any of it, how to use it interestingly. Like the most we've gotten is those dumb fingerprint cookies. I mean, you just get a sense of a woman who just doesn't do anything she's claiming to do, like in her personal time. Fire Elemental says, Brittany, you need to apply for credentials when Charles comes here. I won't actually be here. I will actually be in Sweden. So I won't be here when Charles is here. It just happened to be that because I wanted to do King Carl Gustaf's birthday since I found out about it last year, I think. So I've been planning to do the Swedish birthday forever. And so I don't want to say that's non-negotiable, but I'd kind of prefer to do the Swedish birthday with all the tiaras and going down to Washington, D.C. Liz says, you need to dust. It's how you dust that is important. Very true. To dust or not to dust. Shaz says, I would love to go to Japan. Me too. I thought about doing a Japan trip and then because I'd done most of the European trips I wanted to do, but then they started offering more European trips in the group I work with to create trips. So I was like, okay, cool. We have Mary Mo 282. Thank you so much for gifting 5 Royals News Network memberships. I'm sure someone will really, really appreciate that. Someone really will. Sir Squirrelot says, if you go to cover royals, can you write it off as a business expense? You can. So that is kind of nice. That is kind of the nice thing about it because I'm doing it for business. Like it's fun, but it's definitely business and it definitely feels like work. It's the funnest time I think I get to work sometimes, but it's also stressful, it's hectic, it's long hours and these sorts of things. It's not like one and done. I think what has surprised me the most, and this is especially the case in Denmark because it is first come first serve when it comes to the press. So the press will get there hours ahead of time of the call time. And I think that's the case other places too, because when I was in the Netherlands for an event, I got there and I was there early. And the security guy from the Royals told me I was late. And I'm like, my thing says 7 o'clock. It's 6:45. What are you talking about? And or maybe 6:50 or something. And I think sometimes like people line up early, people get there early. Like it's a long day for a photographer. Like I have so much more respect for, Chris Jackson. He doesn't have to, I don't think work maybe quite as hard, but he does get there early. Like he wasn't there as early as some of the guys were when I was there at the Dog and Duck because I did see him. But he was there at, I want to say at least 9, maybe 10, maybe more like 10. And Catherine and William didn't get there until 12 something, maybe even closer to 11. I can't quite remember. Anyways, AJM says Antarctica is beautiful. Went in early December and it was not too bad. One night we had a picnic on deck. Nice. So Alice says to Stephen, I think as ever, Meghan, based on February 2025 date on the company was formed, could not find anything about John Francis Delaney. Absolutely nothing. So when it comes to if you're talking about the copyright, she should technically update it to 2026. That's just kind of standard. Bao Bowie Assange says Air New Zealand crash on Antarctica footage on YouTube, eerie and bizarre, doomed passengers and oil splash. Yeah, that I've seen part of that. That is really weird. Delick says Meghan just called the petition moot, but her voice, but nobody else. Yeah. Sir Squirrel says you do have the best live. You seamlessly shift topics and answer many questions. Why, thank you. I try to. We'll probably end at 4:30 just because obviously. You haven't seen my sniffling. I'm trying to contain it, but Christmas says, you're easy to watch, Brittany. You have a pleasing voice. Why, thank you. Shaz says, I could save up and treat myself for my 60th birthday in 4 years. Now that would be a brilliant birthday present. Yes, it would. It would. Travel is awesome. Stacy says, is Miss Puppa suffering too with the dust and allergies? She's perfectly fine. She's downstairs. Probably as soon as I get downstairs, she'll go walk, walk, walk. It's our evening walk time. Come on, let's go, Mom. And I'm like, okay. I think I'll try to get her to wait until a little later. She did get her. Well, she's been fed all day, but I didn't have canned food and she wouldn't eat her food without her canned food. So I picked some up today because she's a persnickety little bean. Grace Kirk says, it's so nice to hearing your point of view. I hope your allergies and cold improve quickly. Why, thank you. Me too. Marjorie says, let's hope Kensington Palace Press Office take note of your channel and give you a pass both the UK and the US. Yes. So I hope so, but we shall see. There's obviously going to be a ton of people, but I mean, the palace does like outside, or sorry, not the palace. The president's office did open up more to independent outlets. So I'm hoping so. And I'm really hoping that works, but we'll see. It depends too. It's going to be crazy because Catherine and William are coming over the 4th of July weekend, which is going to be insane. It's going to be insane. So Per Majesty, thank you so much for this. Oh, it's not super chat, but I've been a member for 31 months. Why, thank you. Thank you, Per Majesty. Says, Meghan could learn a lot from you about authenticity. My favorite one was one time you ended your video talking about Meghan with an exasperated whatever. It was like Meghan has sucked the life out of you. It's a little bit true. It is definitely a little bit true. I think it's more of the just general frustration of seeing somebody who could have everything. She could be wildly successful, and yet somehow she has bungled all of it. And I'm like, how? How? How do you do that? And we're about 5 minutes out, so that might be about as much as I can. I'm trying so hard, but yeah, that might be as much as we could do. But yeah, when it comes to Megan, I think it's just general frustrations. Like, how could you have so incredibly much in terms of resources and yet squander it all so badly? I don't understand. I will never understand. Okay, let's get back over here. Montana says May says, Brittany, hope you get some relief from your allergies and that the polishing finishes up soon. Me too. Ella says, will there be one or several of Tiara events in Sweden? So there'll be one Tiara event. Actually, all the festivities around his birthday are really contained on one day, which is his birthday, April 30th. So that could be a very, very, very long day. But I'm fine with that if I get to see Tiaras. So looking forward to that. Anthony says, I would like to know what Megan writes off. That would be interesting to know for sure. Rit says, and in case anyone doesn't know this, women do have a voice. Yes, yes. We are not back in the Stone Age, Meghan Markle. We're perfectly fine. Chris Mintender says, my Danish friends wanted to leave their stroller outside a diner near the Met Museum the first time they came to visit. I don't think that's going to go over super well. But they do that in Denmark. Mavi Bauer says, I lived in Denmark. My friends and I did housekeeping for government leaders and the royal household. Queen of K is very nice. Oh, that is awesome to hear. Yeah, Shaz says, get yourself to a doc, Brittany. It sounds like you brought your home bought allergy meds aren't strong enough. Honestly, the spray that I have is actually a prescription level. But it's helping somewhat, I think. But yeah. Rupiti says, if you haven't been, Slovenia is rather magical. We are headed there in October. I can't wait. Marjorie says, I always find you authoritative and impartial as you can be. Yes, I really try to. Like, I am honest about my biases, of course, because then you could judge anything I say off my biases. So if you don't like what I'm saying, that's fine. But like, I try to be real and not just say everything somebody does is perfect all the time, because it's not. It's just simply not. And I want to be real. And I feel like that's the most authentic and real. And people gravitate towards that. Sometimes people get mad, but a lot of people gravitate to that more than just the fake everybody's perfect and that sort of thing. Red Bird says, peace and greetings, Brittany. Do you like the UK? You are most welcome here. You can stay at mine, no money. I'm autistic and extremely kind and verifiable. Well, I thank you. I do go to London at least usually a couple times a year. I haven't actually been this year, but I'm hoping to go because we had the exhibition of the Queen's clothing. And so, yeah, I will be there. Liz says, I give you credit for putting on eye makeup when your allergies are acting so much. Thankfully, my eyes aren't itching super badly. I get that too. That's usually dog related. It's usually dogs that really kick off my eyes. But yeah, I'm actually very allergic to dogs, believe it or not. My dog though, and actually the first 2 dogs, well, I mean it's technically 3. First dogs that my parents had were all hypoallergenic dogs. They just didn't even think about that. And we didn't realize I was allergic to anything until we got a cat. And we had also moved, so we kind of figured it was a move. It was probably actually the cat. So oh, Viral Elementus says, Megan has to be so angry with Marcus because he got her the gig and the other woman is worse than Megan. So she's getting a lot of attention instead of Megan. Yeah, that's very, very true. That's very, very true. Grace Kirk says, Megan can a lot from you and Beebs Kelly because you're both knowledgeable and present material so well. Why, thank you. Rid says, that spray you put up your nose helps a little bit, but the congestion is hellish. It is kind of. And it's just there. It's just hard to get it. Tomorrow, I might be much better. And I'm kind of debating, do I have a cold? Is it just allergies? Because I woke up with a pretty sore throat this morning. So it's just all over the place. It's not Brittany's best day. Redbird says, Brittany, just take proper antihistamines, like the ones that make you sleepy. They actually do work. They do, but then they make me really sleepy. And I'm like, oh. And then I sleep everywhere, and then it doesn't work. Because my parents, when I first started getting allergies, they would give me Benadryl, and then I was like miserable. Because like one time we were going to some sort of like garden show or something. We were going to be out like all day, and they give me Benadryl, and I just wanted to die because I was like, I feel horrible. I can't move. I'm so sleepy, and oh my gosh. Yeah. Ritz says, I met someone like Meghan Markle in a networking group, and she was very superior and tried to be controlling. I went full no contact with her. It was awful. I'm sorry. But yeah, there are people like that. People like that for sure. Grace Kirk says, Brittany, I love you interacting with us. Why, thank you. Or how you interact with us. And Chaz says, you're as bad as my eldest, Brittany. Yeah, I'm like, I try to power through. Alice says, Brittany, I was talking about As Ever corporate business that I believe Meghan formed in Australia under a different name. Oh, interesting. Okay. Sorry for the confusion. But yeah, not surprised that she didn't. So, Priyanki says, is it rhinitis that you have, Brittany? There are non-drowsy antihistamines available. I do take them, but it's when I get like this, it's like hay fever. It just has to cycle through. It usually lasts until the next day. Usually by the next day, I've taken Benadryl, I've slept well, and it kind of funnels out of my system. But on days like today, it's just here. It's just here. Like, I feel like you can see like a little swelling around my like nostrils and sinus area and stuff. It's just, oh my gosh, it's insane. Stephanie says your sound is slightly off from your video. Yeah, it's like it's done that recently. I don't know why. It didn't do that before. Then it started doing it. And then it didn't do it for a while again. And then it started doing it again. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. So maybe we will fix it at some point and I will get it figured out. But right now, guys, we will go ahead and end the stream right here. Thank you all so much for tuning in, especially dealing with all my snifflies. I really do appreciate it, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Bits of this may pop up on Royal News Network clips, which I still need to start actually working on again. But it may just be this, and then we'll probably get up another video by Sunday. I do owe you guys a video on Crown Princess Metamart's interview fully. We'll get to that, and because I really want to do that, but because I've had other things going on, like that's going to take a long time to film and record, or sorry, film and edit, and so that's just going to take a little bit more. But we also do have, just somebody asked again, do I have Tom Bauer's book? Yes, I do. I'm going to be reading it as much as I can this weekend and in the bits. So we'll be doing that. And then I saw somebody else ask, will I go to the Invictus Games in Birmingham? At this point, I don't have any particular plans to, but would depend on, like, I would consider it. I'll just leave it there. I almost went to the Vancouver Games and I was going to do a whole undercover operation. And I just decided not to at the last minute. Well, not at the last minute. I just was like, I just don't really want to. It was like really expensive and hard to get there with my preferred airline. So I was kind of like, no, I'm good. So I'm kind of glad I didn't go, just because that would have been a long time. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it, especially you dealing with all my sniffles. And I shall speak to you guys again very soon. All right.